Yeah, off the grid, stand up. SBC, Black Elvis, Roddy, OG, it's wavy. Look, started from the bottom, so we off the grid. Tryna make it to the top, we soon live off the grid. Had dreams of making teams, I was just a kid. But we off the grid, yeah, we off the grid. On the come up, so we off the grid. Had dreams of the league, we was all just kids. And the bullets from the underground, they often miss. The podcast bringing light, so they don't call it quits. Now pass the rock, I'm open on the 10. They call me wavy in the red zone for the win. Then do your dance on them, raise the roof, we got the fans rolling. Catch a pick and then do it again.
Hey people, what's up? Welcome to the 6th episode of Off the Grid. I'm your host, the Commish, along with my boys D-Dub and Roddy.
We're excited this week because we're going to get the opportunity to have you hear directly from athletes that have done it on every level, except the pros. But listen, if history is any teller of what could potentially happen, these guys are headed in the right direction. So, you know, get yourself together, get your popcorn ready, sit down and get comfortable. We want to bring to you in your living room, in your office, or wherever you view at, Sofian, Massoud, and Sanoussi, Kane.
Sanoussi, I want to thank you guys for coming on the podcast today.
Thanks for having us.
I want to talk to you guys about your transition from youth to high school, and even now into college, and how you, even my path and our paths are different, and how how it affected you guys in different ways. Yeah. So, starting from youth, you know, we all played on the Harlem Jets, and I want to know how you guys' personal youth experience was in New York City, and how do you think that the New York City youth football, affected your high school and your college careers?
I was actually just talking about this the other day. Like, back on the Jets, when we all played, we were real good. Like, we used to go down to Florida and play in the Nationals every single year. We were the top team on the East Coast, never lost to anybody. So for us, it was like we had so much confidence at that young age that was built into us from just playing and winning so much that probably carried over for us into high school for a lot of us.
And even, I try to tell people now, like, even when it comes to like things like mindset, like we had coaches who were drilling us like, work harder or get the extra rep, things like that. That stuff carries with you as an adult and into college and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like that discipline that they taught when we were younger, that transition to now that we can teach people how to have that discipline. Like, that made us better leaders moving forward, because that was the reason why we were winning games. Like, we were so disciplined, but plus the talent. So when you have talent and discipline, it was unstoppable.
It was actually crazy because we had so much football knowledge and just natural
crazy
leadership. Like, we used to lead our own teams at 12. We used to coach the teams ourselves, like discipline the team ourselves. And we're 12 years old, little kids. When you really think about it, little kids, it's crazy.
With that being said, winning, like you said, winning all those games in the youth, going to Florida. Me and you played on championship teams at Hayes, you too. How does that carry over into high school? And even though it's a shift, like even for college, we won games on the high school level, but I didn't play college ball yet. You guys are there. But how do you think youth was different than high school, or even at the winter level?
Go up levels, the speed of the game changes, but that comes with like age, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when you're down a level and you're looking forward, it seems impossible. But know that it's not impossible. Right now it would be tough for you to do it, but understand that as time goes on, you're going to be ready for that moment. You know what I mean?
Like, just like as you grow athletically, like everybody's going to be bigger, faster, stronger. Like, it's going to be a difference from when you're 14 to now, 19, 20, going against grown men. So like, it wasn't really that much of a speed difference. It was more so of how you're managing your time. Like, are you putting all your time towards trying to be great at football, or are you putting your time towards something else? And I think that time management, being disciplined, ultimately just having the confidence that we grew up with, that's going to affect us throughout high school and in college.
What do you guys think for yourselves was one of the hardest things in high school, whether it was for football, whether it was personal, mental? Like, what was the hardest aspect of being able to make that push to be a student athlete in high school?
I mean, for me, I've been around to a couple schools, so like
Where you was not at Hayes first.
I've been at a couple schools. So I've been at Poly when Poly was really good, playing a national schedule. When they were playing a national schedule is what I mean. I was at Hayes when we were still winning at Hayes. Hayes is still winning, and then I went to Texas. So I've seen it from 3 different areas. So I know like the difference in the resources in all the areas, and just like when you go out of state to Texas, that's lifestyle for them. So it's not like
it's regular.
It's not like you got to make a call to get certain things.
We was talking about that on the other.
Yeah, that's just what it is. So
the culture out there is just
different. So even if you under resourced,
over there.
I feel like even if you under resourced, like you could still make it happen. You just gotta work harder than those boys, like because wherever they're at, if they got all the resources, they probably gonna slack a little more because they got the resources. When you don't got it, you gotta work as hard as them and then some, so you could catch up. But you could catch up though.
But even in Jersey though, like Jersey got all the research coming from Harlem, coming from New York. Like you go to Jersey, it's like y'all got all this and y'all slacking.
It's
like come on, man. Like once you get that mindset that we had, like especially me growing up, when I got into high school, y'all were like the legends. Like I wasn't that guy coming out of youth going into high school. So like I had to catch up to you guys. So I had to make sure that
putting in that extra work.
Yeah.
People don't understand that too. Like there was a lot. Like there was different stages. So like we all played on the youth team, but like Sanoussi said, he wasn't a superstar.
Right.
And then even in high school, like Sof might have been. You was a superstar, but even me, like I was on championship teams, but I wasn't like the biggest guy. Now you have it to where I'm not even playing football. Right. You at Houston and he's at Purdue, so you got to understand that it's when the levels change, like you said, the speed changes and all that. But if you put in the work and you put in the time, you dedicate it, it's gonna happen.
Nah, yeah. If you working, that eventually that gap between you and certain people is gonna start closing as you work and age as time goes on and you all get older. Like it's gonna catch up. So just keep working. That's all it really is.
It's also maximizing your talent, because like some people, like we just gonna keep it a band. Like some people were born different. Like
For
it's
sure.
like when I was like in 8th grade, it wasn't like nobody would have seen that I was gonna be this person.
Yeah, nobody
like,
was even thinking like, oh, Sanoussi gonna be that guy.
You feel me? Like
that happened to me too.
Yeah, like
people was like, nah, I'm not. You know.
You feel me? Like it's like certain people, like you would have laughed in 8th grade, be like, yeah, he's gonna be at Purdue University. Like he's gonna be a safety at Purdue University. They would have laughed. So it's like at the end of the day, everybody has this certain talent. You just have to maximize that talent. Like it doesn't matter if you're good at painting. If you were good at painting, be the next Basquiat. If you're good at basketball, be the next Jordan. Like it don't matter what you're good at. Just make sure when you find what you're good at, put in that work.
That's what I was saying. Like even if you feel like you're under resourced, like even if those schools are under resourced, like the schools in New York do what they can. Like Hayes, Hayes has the best facilities in like this area for us. In this area, you know what I'm saying?
Best facilities
in this area, but
because all right, people don't even. I want to touch on that, right? We're talking about resources right now, and on prior episodes we spoke about how the culture, like in Texas or in New Jersey, is different than in New York. Right. People don't even realize that we played at a high school where we played on a 60-yard field or something like that, 70-yard field. It was not a full field. So things like that, where now you have that New York kid who may be more hungry.
That's what I'm saying.
And maybe more determined, but
that gets you further than the facilities right now.
But it might not get you further, because then when we talk about coaches and recruiting, those coaches is not coming over here. So why are we not getting coaches to feed into us, the guys who was putting in that work without the resources?
I think that's changing though. I think that the New York City 2018 class, recruiting class, with Aaron Kershane, Sean Ryan, all those dudes, like Elijah Jones, all those guys, like literally changed
like that.
Like you feel me? Like all those dudes is like the dudes that got us to where we at.
That's
like
fair.
I don't like when I was getting recruited, like when Wisconsin was talking to me, they were like, oh yeah, talk to Aaron. Or Syracuse was recruiting me, talk to Trill. Like, and now you see these guys.
So they was already in tune with other guys.
Like, yeah, and it's now they putting on the big stage. Aaron is first team all Big Ten.
Yeah,
like,
they gonna look at the leagues they came from.
Like, you feel me? Like, it's like, all right, so where did you guys come from?
But those, I'm about to say that, like, those are exceptions, and I get your point. So what you're saying is that it is growing, but you know those guys. I know those guys too, but those numbers aren't as big as they should be, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
But,
gonna get
but
bigger.
we just, you know,
I feel like it's getting easier to get recruited out of the city now. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like before it was way harder because there was a lot of
before
dudes.
when? How many years
I'm
ago?
talking like Tim class, Tim, Abdul,
Yeah.
Dante.
But then with that being said, those guys were dudes.
But they,
Yeah.
that's
And
what I'm
they
saying.
still got recruited.
It was harder back then though. They would have if it
I
was
swear
now,
it
if
was
they were
harder.
playing now, it would be different for them. They would get recruited a lot heavier.
Like, imagine Tim, bro.
For a
Me and
fact.
Tim had the same play style, bro.
For a
Tim was just
fact.
better than me at that age.
And a lot-
like,
even if you
feel
think
me?
about
and
it,
I'm at Purdue, so where would Tim would have been?
the sizes of those teams was way different than ours too. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna lie, if we played, I don't know.
That's what I'm
Those
saying.
teams
It would
was
be
crazy.
they would be able to get a lot more coverage now.
So you think it is different? You think
It's
that
changing.
It is growing?
I see it
Definitely
changing.
changing.
I see it.
I
Changing.
seen a freshman get a Penn State offer.
Yeah, I see
Out
it
of Iona,
changing.
like that was like a couple of days ago. Like
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was if you talk about 2016, that would have never happened.
You know?
Penn State not coming out here.
Tennessee was out
Tennessee.
here for
There's
FDA.
There's a kid in New York going to Oregon.
Exactly.
Like across the
But now,
country.
do y'all think that both you guys, you being at Houston and you being at Purdue, what is it like, you know, not even with that transition, but not to throw anything out there, but you guys are D1 players, but, you know, may not necessarily be getting D1 minutes,
Right.
things of that nature. So how does that stuff affect you guys, or, you know, what is that transition like also?
Yeah, I'll let Sanoussi go first.
My youth experience like helped me with that just because like I wasn't a dude on the youth level. So like I think personally for me it's just being patient, just like understanding how to prepare. So when it's your time, to shine, like you can take full advantage of it. Because I know for a fact like coming in, it was 2 fifth-year seniors there. So it's like it was already gonna be hard to
guys
get.
there already.
Yeah, it was already gonna be hard. Like my entire mindset just shifted. Like I know that I'm not gonna be playing as much right now, but I gotta learn. I gotta learn how to play football at the collegiate level. Learn what's gonna be the best thing for me. Learn what's gonna put me over the edge. So.
But the time gonna come though.
Yeah, the time gonna come. Like everybody's gonna have their time. Like you just have to be prepared for it. So I would say that like time management is probably the key. Like learning how to wake up at 5:30 to go to lift at 6. Then make sure that you have breakfast because you also got treatment, you also got schoolwork, and then you got practice after that. So like learning how to time manage that. And make sure that you have time to for yourself, obviously, because like
Sure.
not taking a break from football would be bad for your mental health. So like you got to learn how to just manage that time. And I think that my first year learning all of those things that helped me prepare me to go into this next year where I'm gonna have increased role. I'm gonna have to start being more of a vocal leader and things of that nature.
Yeah, I think like coming from a position of playing your whole life to transitioning to going to college, think you're gonna play or not sure, and of course you always think you're gonna play and then you end up not playing. That's something new to you, so it's gonna be something you gotta go through. But I would say just always keep your goal in sight. Keep your goal in the back of your mind because like whatever path you on, it may seem like you scattered and like your path is not the right path and you're on the wrong path, but just know you still on the right path. That's just a part of the right path. It's just the right path is not always a straight one, you know, but just know that you on that path, and the only way to maintain that is to, in the back of your mind, always have your goal. Whatever you're going through, just have the goal in the back of your mind, and don't feel, you're gonna feel discouraged. For a fact, you're gonna feel discouraged, but always take on the day like you're a champion. Always take on the day like you're a champion. Like operate where your mindset is at. So if you think like, oh, I'm a starting quarterback, or I'm a starting receiver, or I'm a Heisman Award winner, you know, whatever. Even when you're not a Heisman Award winner yet, operate like you're a Heisman Award winner, because eventually time is gonna catch up to where your mind is at.
Yep.
Just to piggyback off of that, you know, I don't play at any D1 schools or anything like that. I'm a lacrosse player now, but I do want to say one thing. I was talking to one of my older teammates the other day, and we was talking about shooting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, I shoot better than you, whatever." And I was just like, "Nah, you don't."
Right.
But long story short, I had that conversation with him, and I realized a lot of people don't make it because they don't have that confidence. They don't own it, right? A lot of people say they want to be things. You want to be that dude, or you want to do this, you want to do that, but then don't own it, right? You might do the little things like go work out, eat right, whatever the case may be, but you're not living that persona.
Right.
So at the end of the day, a lot of y'all not really gonna make it out here, because a lot of y'all selling yourself short. And if y'all keep doing that and y'all don't own who y'all are and y'all don't live that truth like you said, you're not gonna be that dude. And if you are, then you can talk about it and you can walk about it.
I mean, even if you want to feel how you saying you should feel, but you can't. Like, I would say the way to do it probably would be to like look at people where you want to be, look at the people that's already there, and see how they operate, see how they move, see the things they do, so you know what it takes to be like that. If you want to be a wide receiver, look at NFL wide receivers, so you know what it means to be a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. Until at one point that's going to become a part of you, and you're going to operate just how you should.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of people mistake movement with progress. Like, just because you moving, you can be moving, like, but you're moving in place though. You feel me? Like, so like this, like there's always a way for you to get better. There's always a way for you to instill confidence. Like, confidence ain't gonna come overnight. Like, I'm not gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, yeah, I know I'm the best DB in the country. Like, that's not gonna happen overnight. So like, you have to progress to that point, and like that progression is gonna force you to open your eyes, and it's gonna force you to really like find out who you are deep down inside. So I think that, like So said, watching other people go through what they go through, I think that's the most beneficial thing to do, because like for myself, even now, like I still watch dudes like at the top level do their thing. Like, and that motivates me. I'm like, all right, yeah, I gotta get to that level. Like, I'm seeing how they operate now, and eventually, when my time comes, it's gonna happen, because I know what I've got to put myself through, and that's gonna build the confidence. Yeah, I'm the best DB in the country.
You gotta try to move like the vets. You gotta try to move like the vets. When you move like the vets at a young age, that's when you really see like a difference in kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. To tie in what you said and what Sanoussi said, you know, for guys out there, whether youth, high school, college, like these guys, I think what's most important is being able to, like I said, take those 1 days at a time and maximize them, and not only just doing things like you said, movement, but actually seeing progress with it, or knowing that you're doing things in your life that, okay, this is gonna help me here. This is, whether it's financial, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, map things out so that now you're doing things to make yourself that better person, that better athlete.
That's like what I was saying. Like, even if you strain a certain way on the path, you're gonna naturally gravitate towards whatever your goal is, because that's in the back of your, if it's always on your mind, that's your motivation. So you're gonna make moves based on your motivation. That's why people make decisions. It's based on your motivation. You're naturally gonna get back to your motivation.
Your habits are gonna identify who you are as a person. Right. So like, it's like with me now, I'm thinking, what do I want my identity to be? If like, unfortunate thing happened, I was to die.
What is people gonna say about me, or what is my image? What is the
legacy? What's the legacy? Like,
and that starts now. Like you said, my fault for coming in.
Nah, that's cool. Like, that's like, what do I want people to identify me with? So, if I want to be a hard worker, I have to take steps to prove that I'm a hard worker. If I want to be a Jim Thorpe award winner or a Heisman winner, I have to take steps towards that goal. So like, I feel like the goal thing, like having that goal in the back of your mind, having what you want to be, remember that is probably the most important thing towards success, because you're gonna have a lot of bumps in the road. Like, ain't no successful person had a straight line. Right. So like, you gotta have always the motivation, and the motivation got to be bigger than yourself.
Don't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you give up on yourself before you give up on someone else.
Exactly.
That's why it got to be bigger than yourself. But like he was saying, I would say he's asking himself now, like, who am I? Like, what's my identity? And I would say use football to instill good habits into you. Because football, when you're younger, you don't realize it.
But it do.
Football translates to life. So if you want to be a hard worker, like he said, and he said you need to take steps, I'm going to tell you the steps. You should start working hard in football. When you start doing that little habit, it's a habit. Whether it's a habit in a small area of your life or a big area of your life, it's still a habit.
Yeah.
And that habit is going to carry over when you get older to the bigger things. So you know what I'm saying? Just take steps in using football to make you a better person, to make you, to give you the qualities that you want to have as a person.
I appreciate y'all for coming on here and, you know, dropping
of course,
this,
for
you know, all this knowledge and whatnot, you know.
Of course.
Okay, that was very interesting. I hope y'all picked up a lot of those jewels that they dropped. We'd like to thank Sofian and Sanoussi for coming through, and we look forward to seeing them in the future.
I appreciate my guys for coming out. We definitely did have great conversation today, and, you know, hopefully they'll be back for another one later.
To the listening community, we appreciate all the support that you guys continue to give us. Stay in the comments, continue to like and share. The more subscriptions we get, the more support we get, the better show we can put out for you. I want to thank everyone for their support. Special thank you to Sof and Sanoussi for coming out and for sharing their stories with us. We got plenty more stories like that from plenty more young, thriving athletes out of the New York City area. Let's push the agenda. Let's get New York City football where it needs to be. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
The game, we wasn't from the same hoods. The ball kept us off the block, had to try to remain good. Started from the bottom, so you know we off the grid. Trying to make it to the top, so we live off the grid. Had dreams of making teams, I was just a kid. Oh, we off the grid? Yeah, we off the grid.